guys, and welcome to another episode of Nerds for Life SuperCoach, and probably the last episode of the year, with Team Picker released this week, or today actually. It was released a few hours ago and I've already picked my team. Made sure I quickly did that in my lunch break. But before we go into the full team, please make sure to follow us on Nerds for Life SC on Twitter. We're also on Facebook, Instagram, got us on YouTube. Well, that's TikTok and YouTube as well. So please make sure to subscribe and like, because you'll get further updates, especially over the pre-season. I do a lot of match simulation updates. So I have a lot of people that go to the training sessions, they watch them, they send me notes, or I go myself, and then I give you guys some updates. So then you can pick the best teams physically possible. And, well, let's begin. And I've taken that knowledge on, and hopefully I've built a pretty good team. So we'll start from defense. Now, by the way, I'm going to be making changes left, right, and center. I'm going to be honest, I've changed this team 6 times today alone. So that's one every hour. That's one time every hour since Team Pick has been released. So this is going to change a number of times, but most of the changes are rookies at the moment, because the primos at the moment I'm pretty happy with. Harry Sheasel from defense. He's playing that midfield role, but after a couple of weeks, he managed to actually string together some really good scores, and he is that good that I can see him still being a top 6 defender, even with him not playing a halfback role. So lock him in. Jack Sinclair. Now, I talked a lot about him in my previous video. Any St Kilda player is a must this season. They have a really good draw to start the year, because they were their finish last year. They play Richmond twice in the first half of the year. They don't have the round 0 bye, and they also have the best mid-season bye. So tick, 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 tick. Jack Sinclair is a must. He's also a DPP, and with the addition of Jack McRae, I don't think he's going to be getting any midfield time. Toby Travalia, one of the very, very talented defenders that are coming through the Saints. He just got drafted, so we're going to keep an eye on him. He's been looking good over the summer so far, and could be playing a little bit of midfield too. Bo Allen, this is a guy at the the Eagles, who they touted him very highly. He was their first pickup this year. He's also got DPP as Travalia and Sinclair do, which means you've got some flexibility there. Saad El Hawley is how you pronounce him. His name, Essendon player. He's been killing it over summer. Should have played last year, but didn't due to injury alone. He should play. He's a mature age player, so keep an eye out on him. Riley Bice, another mature age player from Werribee, I believe, in the VFL. He's been brought in, could slot in nicely for Sydney, though they do have a pretty tight list at the moment, so whether he plays or not is up in the air. Just keep an eye on him over summer. Caleb Smith, this is a guy that he's a little bit of a left for centre pick, a bit of a POD. Now, he's been playing across half-back for the Tigers in the match simulations and pre-season. It's very early days. If he does get that role that Liam Baker and Daniel Rioli have left behind, he is a must-have, so keep an eye on him. But Trezzy and Banks, they're also going for that position too, so whether he gets it or not, there's a long summer ahead. He's got some practice matches to get through and some match simulations to impress in, but keep an eye on him. Zach Reed, I'm ready to be heard again. He was in my team all year last year with that one game. Hopefully he can get over his injury problems. He was a top draft pick. He's got talent. He's a big boy. He's as I said, another mature age player. He could get double in price provided he plays. So just keep an eye on his preseason. If he's fit, he'll be in Essendon's best 22. Now moving to the midfield, Marcus Bontempelli. Set and forget. My main strategy this season is trying to avoid as many round 0 bye players as possible when it comes to primos. It actually works out better for rookies, because it means that their price rise ends up earlier. So guys like Ed Allen, for example, will actually get that price rise earlier. So I don't mind that. But primos, I've tried to avoid it as much as possible. I've only got one primo at the moment that's playing round 0. Marcus Bontempelli, tick. I don't want to be the guy that doesn't have him when he scores 180. Zach Butters, tick. Another guy that has huge upside, and honestly, I don't even think we've seen his best yet. Andy Brayshaw is destroying the preseason track at the moment at Fremantle. Had a little bit of a down year in the first half of the year when he was playing outside, but when he moved inside, when he moved to that inside midfield role, we know what this guy can do, and his finish to the season was elite. And I'm going to be honest, I wish I had him over Sarong in that second half of the year, and I'm going to be starting Brayshaw because of that. Sam Walsh, this is a guy that we all thought was at a discount at this price last year. We all thought he was at a discount at 600k the year before. He's had a couple of injury interrupted seasons, hasn't had full preseasons, has come in like round 5 or 6. He's killing it over the summer so far. Obviously there's a few months to go, but again, misses round 1. At this price, if he's fully fit, he can go another level, and he could be 650k very easily. And he's got Richmond first up. Let's be honest, that's probably about 120, 140 score to kick off the season. Sam Laylaw is a watch. Now, he is obviously the first player picked up in the national draft, pick 1. The Tigers are a basket case. They're going to want to blood those young players, but Laylaw is not partaking in the match simulations at the moment because he hasn't had a preseason in a long time. He's not 100%. At the moment, he's doing running drills along the side, separate to the Tigers' main group. Yes, obviously he's got the potential to still play round 1. It is still early days. He's working hard. Just keep an eye on him. I would hate to see him eased into the side through the forward line, which he can play in, or worse, as the sub. Just keep an eye out on him. Jaeger Smith, he's in my side at the moment, provided he survived the knock from Patrick Cripps earlier this week, or last week. He's skinny. I mean, he needs to... I don't think he's ever been in a gym in his life. This guy has a lot of talent, though. He's a massive accumulator. His numbers at SuperCoach numbers at a VFL, as well as his under-18 state league, was just incredible. He was incredible. If he's in the side, I'm probably going to pick him, though Carlton's midfield is kind of stacked. He might not make it. There are other guys that I'm looking at, some like Lobato, who I also think is a chance to play. But the same thing with Gold Coast is that they have a stacked midfield too. So how does he get into the team? Just watch him at the moment. Sid Draper, absolutely smashing it at Adelaide. If they could pick him up last year, they would have. He's actually a big-bodied player. I could see him getting game pretty much immediately. But similar to Carlton, the Crows have a lot of midfielders. Actually, their whole team is just midfielders. So interesting to see how he breaks into that team. Levi Ashcroft arguably should have been number 1 draft. The number 1 draft pick had he have not been a father-son rule. So if he was, I mean, that's a 20k discount on him. He will have the round 0 bye. I think he breaks into that Brisbane team. Again, it's a solid team to get into, but I think he makes it. He's got his dad's number, and they're not going to give that to anybody. Just lock him in for now. Keep an eye at him over summer. Ed Allen, killing it. Killing it. Nick Dacos and Maynard have absolutely... They couldn't talk even higher about Ed Allen. He had a really good end-of-season score. He scored a 94 at the end of the year. Only played the 2 games, which is why his price is a little bit higher, but not like primo level. I'm surprised his price is 194k considering he played 2 games and not 3, but okay, that's fine. A little disappointed with that higher price, but with Tom Mitchell out, he could be potentially playing early on, and look, the signs are good. He's looking good over the summer so far. Josh Smiley is an absolute lock. He's got that bigger body. Plays like Marcus Bontempelli. Patrick Cripps has been mentored by Patrick Cripps. He's a huge, huge player. Couldn't believe how he was towering over Jack Revolt when he was drafted. But he's a guy that I can see definitely playing round 1 if he's fit and available. Elijah Hewitt is a guy that has been in the system for 3 years. At the moment, he's looking good over summer so far. He does have an injury history, which is why he's 122k. Didn't play last season, but he does have DPP. Has been able to make 100k in the past. Can play. Entering his 3rd year. Hopefully, he can put that injury history behind him and actually play some footy. The Rucks, set and forget. Tristan Cherry, just lock in. He's going to be spooning it down the midfielders like... Who do we have there? We've got Luke Parker, we've got LDU, Wardlaw, Sheasel, Kircher, Simpkin. You know, they've got some decent midfielders at the moment. He is an absolute set and forget lock for the year. Tom DeConning is just kind of a watch at this point. When he's the sole ruck, Carlton win, and he scores massive points. However, Pitnet kills his point potential scoring, and at the moment, there's a chance that they do go with the dual ruck. And if they go with the dual ruck, Tom DeConning's out of my team, and I'll have to figure out my ruck position. Now, that Hawthorn rookie on my bench is purely there as a placeholder because it's going to be Boyd from the Saints as soon as he actually makes the app, because he isn't listed. I mean, he was listed, I think, today. So he hasn't, under the supplementary selection period. So he's not listed yet when when the app was released, so I can't pick him, but that is just a placeholder for him. He's going to be in my team. Jason Horne-Francis is going to be in 99.99% of teams, so just lock him in. We know what he can do at his best, and I can see him bumping his 97 average to 100, 105 average this season. Jack McRae, all reports he's playing midfield. He was brought in from the Dogs, disappointed that he didn't play midfield last year. I don't think that he's going to come to the Saints and not play midfield. I'm just going to get... There's a photo that I just want to bring up from from about a week ago. And I'm just gonna get that photo. If you take a look at that, right there, Jack McRae, Ruckman, straight down to his throat. That's all you need to look at. Jack McRae's playing midfield. So lock him in. Bailey Smith, he's the only round zero player that I am going to have that's a primo. At the moment, he's got the DPP. If he can get anywhere near his best, that's a bargain. I can accept one primo missing in the first month of football. Mateus Philippou is a lock at the moment, but there are only so many mouths to feed at St Kilda, and they have a pretty stacked midfield as well. At the moment, Mateus Philippou is training well. We saw what he could do at the end of last year when he wasn't ill. He can play, he can score well, but again, keep an eye out on his role, because with guys like Jack McRae, Jack McRae and Steele, they'll be taking a lot of midfield minutes, and then we've got Darcy Wilson, who's apparently playing more midfield as well, or inside midfield. There's only so many mouths we can feed, so just keep an eye out on Philippou's role. Caleb Daniel, locked in. Unfortunately, had two really good scores to end the year, and that bumped his price up. Honestly, he's got that half-back role locked in at North Melbourne, and will be scoring well as a result, so just lock him in. Tom Lynch is the risky one. Here's the risky one. This is the kind of guy that is only a couple of years ago that he was over 500k. There's a reason for that. He's Richmond's best forward. He was their leading goal kicker and their number one player. They won their best and fairest and almost won All-Australian 2 years ago. But due to injuries over the last couple of seasons, he's now dropped off to 183k. This is the kind of guy that could triple in value very quickly too, provided he actually gets on the park. That's the thing. But because of that flex position, that new flex position, I'm taking the risk on him. And because, let's just say he gets injured round 1 and it's in the first quarter and he scores a 5, only the top 22 scores that you get 23 players on field actually make your end of week score. So I can risk someone like Tom Lynch. Next up, we've got Dan Curtin, apparently playing halfback. He's beefed up. He's at a discounted price compared to his start of season. I think, maybe he went up in value. I can't click on him at the moment. So, but either way, 158k. He was the Adelaide's first selection last year. He is in the mix to be playing halfback this season, apparently, which means that he could be scoring well. So keep an eye out on his role. If he's playing forward again, he won't be in my team. Jaron Carr is an interesting one. Father-son selection, won their 2K time trial a few weeks ago when he first joined the club. Is training well, but someone to keep an eye out on, because Fremantle do have a lot of players that play that kind of role, but still, keep an eye out on him. It is impressive signs. Another guy to keep an eye out on is Jack Martin. He's the kind of guy that could double in value. He's about 150k as well. Look, if Geelong do get 3, 4, 5 games out of him, he could make money quickly. Just keep an eye on him, especially with Gary Rowan retiring. Last but not least, my flex position. At the moment, I'm going to Ruckman. And I'm going someone that has huge scoring potential, and that is Sean Darcy at a discounted price. This is the kind of guy that could score 200 points like that. When you've got a 3-man ruck like Darcy, DeConning, and Cherry at their best, that is a powerful flex position to have. And it also means that you've got cover in that ruck line when, buys happen or if a player is out for a week. So I like having Darcy there. Another guy that I'm looking into is Flynn. He's not in my team yet because I don't know if he's got that number 1 ruck role at West Coast just yet. But if he does have that number 1 ruck role, I'm considering moving Darcy out and going on Flynn, because Flynn is pretty cheap. Flynn is 261k. He only played 4 games last year, so Flynn could be one of those guys that could be really good especially if he's the sole ruckman at West Coast. So if that's the case, I'd probably put Flynn there and maybe go with Jordan Clark in defence. Just shuffle that cash back and I would like Jordan Clark ideally in defence. I just can't fit him in my team at the moment because I've got too many players. You just can't fit everybody. But again, if Matt Flynn is West Coast number 1 ruck, Darcy's probably out, Flynn's in, and then I'll go Clark at the back. But it'll be interesting to see how my side develops as the pre-season kicks off over Christmas. This is what I've got so far. It's very early. I've only had this team for a few hours. I like it potentially, but I'm going to be honest, it's going to change. It's probably going to change after this video. It's going to change tomorrow. It's going to change over the next few weeks, months. So it's going to change about 5 minutes before lockout. But this is what I've got so far. Please make sure to share your teams as well. Happy to critique, happy to give you advice, happy to just have a chat about it on any of our socials as well. So do give me a follow on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, on TikTok, YouTube as well. And thanks for watching. I'll be back next year. Have a good Christmas and New Year, guys.